Hi everyone. Today what we're working on is 4th of July wreaths. So first thing I'm going to use is my 14-inch frame, fuzzy sticks or chenelles. I got a Home Sweet Home wooden plaque here, I guess you could call it. I have ribbon that I got at the dollar store. See, isn't that so pretty? This one is the 2.5 inches by 9 foot. And also I have a roll of the, it's Deco Mesh slash, I would say it looks like burlap, but it's not, but it's Deco Mesh. But it has the red, white, and, the red and the blue. This one was $9.99 at Hobby Lobby. I got it for 50% off, so I got a good deal. So this is our project. We might throw little extra things on in the process. So let's get started. First I'm going to get my fuzzy sticks and I'm going to start putting it on my frame. I'm going to put it at the top two notches here, or top two bars, I guess you could call it. See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to wrap it around the first two at the top and where there's the dividers here, or the braces, I guess you could call it. And then I'm going to do one at the bottom two in between the braces. And I'm going to keep doing that all the way around, the top to the bottom, top to the bottom, all the way around. And I only wrap it about 2 times, or twist it about 2 times. Almost done here. Okay, one more. 1 and 2. So this is what we're left with here after we put our snails or fuzzy sticks on there. So next step is I get my Deco Mesh and I roll just a little bit out and I scrunch it together like this, like that. And I start in the middle. For me, it's easier to start in the middle and work your way out. But you can do it whichever way you want. But I start in the middle. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I start and I twist 1 and 2 twists. And I tuck those in like that. And then I fluff it just a tad. And then I scrunch it together after I have my loop that I like, and I twist 2 more times. 1, 2. And I like to primp it a little bit while I go, so I make sure that it's as big as I want it to be. So we're going to do that again. And we're going to do that all the way around the first row here. I try to make sure all my little hoops or my scrunches or whatever you call it are about the same poofiness. I don't know all the technical words, but that's what I call it. Works for me. All right, so we're going to scrunch some more. One more on this one row. This looks nice and full. And then I'm going to trim it. See? And then I'm going to trim where it's hanging off. My scissors are not the sharpest. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to keep it scrunched where I cut it. I'm going to start my next row. You see how nice that's turning out? So I'm going to start my top row. You can start anywhere. So I'm just going to tuck it in there and twist 2 times. 1 and 2. You see, I tucked it in there and twist. So here we go. We're gonna poof it just a tad and scrunch it. Look at it, make sure that's what you want. And 2 twists. 1 and 2. Looks good. See that? That's our second row on the top. I mean our first, yeah. Here we go. Let's keep doing that all the way around. So we scrunch the way we want it, how big, poofy we want it. And we twist 1 and 2. Twist again. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. One and 2. I like to primp while I go. I do that so at the end I don't have a lot of primping I have to do. One and 2. And if you get to the end and you noticed a couple might be bigger than the others, you can leave it the way it is, or you can go back and fix it. This stuff works really well on when you're trying to go back and fix stuff. It doesn't really mess up too bad. See, that's looking so pretty. I'm loving it. Hope you guys are too. Okay, here we go. Our last one here. So I'm going to scrunch it up. And I'm going to do my twist, twist, twist. 1 and 2. Then I'm going to cut that off. Make sure you don't cut too close to your chenelles, just in case it starts slipping. Most of the time it doesn't, but just to be safe. All right, and see, we still have a whole bunch on that roll. Look at that. All right. And the roll that I used was 10 inches by 30 feet. So you can do basically 2 wreaths with just one roll. All right, so this is what we got so far. Isn't that nice? What I was thinking, there's a few things we can do with this ribbon. We can run it around the edges here, all the way around. Or we can just make a big bow and put our home sweet home in there somewhere. See? And I also have some plaques that I saw at the dollar store. See these plaques? Little hanging things. I like what it says, so I was even thinking that would look really cute on one. But these frames, I believe, are too small. I think it needs a little bit bigger for these. So I'm going to stick with my home sweet home. If I can look at it right. All right, so home sweet home. We just got to figure out where we want our home sweet home. So let's see. We can put it over here. But we got to think, where do we want our bow? Do we want a bow on here, or do we want to put some flowers? We could put flowers, or we can put a bow. Let's make a bow real quick and see how that's going to look first. So I'm going to lay it back down. I get my ribbon. And remember, this is 2.5 inches by 9 feet. So I get one end and I overlap it like this. See my little hoop? We're gonna scrunch it up like we did the Deco Mesh between your fingers. See, like that. We're gonna make another hoop. Drawing it underneath like that. See, like there. Try to make your hoops about the same. You can use a bow dabra as well. I have one, but it's sort of easier for me to do it with my fingers right now because I'm just trying to get these done as quick as I can. So there's another hoop. Underneath. Scrunch it up. So see? Adjust it, twist it. I usually make about 4 on each side. So scrunch it up. So that's 3. We're going to do 2 more. The ones in the middle I make longer than the ones on the edge. I make the ones on the edge a little smaller. So when your bow is finished, okay, so it looks pretty even all around. Okay. You can just play with it too. And then once you're at the end here and you have all 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you pull this, the bottom here that you have hanging, okay, you pull it up in the middle and you're going to twist and you're going to tuck it like that underneath your thumb. So there you go, you got your middle. But you have one long one, okay? One long one here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna twist it around like, if I can get my fingers working, twist it like this, and you're going to tuck it. And you can make it a little shorter, like that. There you go. Okay, now I'm going to get one of my chenilles. I'm using brown. And you go through in between, place it underneath your thumb, and right back around, and you twist, twist, twist. So there you go. What we're going to do here at the bottom, because we made them long, we're going to cut it at an angle. So see, it's at an angle. Now these two down here, we're going to cut it at an angle. See? Doesn't that look nice? And if you think one of them is too long, you can always trim it up. I believe this one is too long, so I'm going to trim it up. So there we go, we have our bow. We can adjust them, poof it the way we want it. Here we go. See, isn't that nice? So when you put it up against your wreath, you can form it a little bit more too. So let's see. Let me look at it. All right. Looks good to me. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to look a little nice, huh? I think it looks great. All right. So we're going to hold up our wreath. We're going to see where we want it. Do we want it right here? Do we want it at an angle here? If we have our home sweet home on this side, we might want our bow on this side. Let's see how that will look. Let me just hold this back here just a tad. So there's that. And then our home sweet home. How does that look? It looks pretty good. I think one thing we're going to do first though, we're going to put some more of this ribbon around the edges. So I'm going to get my other row because I already opened the other roll on my last project. That's why I ran out so quick. All right. So here we go. Let me show you what you can do with this. So with your ribbon, since it has an edge here, I always tuck it in, or tuck it under, I guess. Tuck it under, scrunch it, scrunch it, and then I'm going to start it on the edge, the outer edge. So I just put it here, and I twist it on. 1, 2. Squeeze it on there. And then you're just going to go around the edge here and tuck it in. Tie it on. See, just around the edges. I want to do that all the way around. It's easier for me with it laying down. 1 and 2. And 2. 1 and 2. Almost to the end here. And when you're putting the ribbon on the outer portion, you need to make sure that it's a little tight, not too tight, but you don't want it like this. You don't want it flopping up. You want it sitting right on top of the Deco Mesh. You don't want it super tight, but you want it to be snug to it. All right. So I'm going to trim that. See, we still have some ribbon left. All right. So what I'm going to do to cover up this end here, that's where I'm going to put my bow. I think I'm going to tuck my chenilles in on this one because my bow has a chenille. So I'm just gonna, see, I'm pushing it through the back and wrapping it around a couple of the bars here, if you can see. But you need to make sure you're looking at the front too to see how it's going to lay. Actually, I'm not going to put it on the top. I'm going to put it on the two middle ones so it lowers it just a tad. There we go. You can always adjust it. Let's see how that's turning out. I think it's looking really nice. There it is. So these chenilles that are in the middle here, that are poking out, I'm going to tuck those in. I'm going to tuck them underneath. I'm going to wrap them around the frame. See, I'm pulling them through and wrapping them in the back. So I'm just twisting them a couple times, scrunching it so it's not going to be poking out the back here. So see what I did? All right. So we're going to look at the front of our wreath again. See? Now we're going to see how we're going to do our Home Sweet Home. Do we want to tie it with a chenille and have the chenille showing, or do we just want to super glue it, not super glue, hot glue it onto the wreath? I think last time I hot glued it and it turned out really good. It held real well. So what I'm going to do is tuck in all my little chenilles. I'm going to pull them to the back and tie them up. So this might take a minute or two. But I don't normally tuck the chenilles until I'm to this point because you might still need to use them to put more ribbon or to add things to your wreath. But I lay it on its front so I can see the back and pull it through the back. And it's just easier that way for me. It might be easier for you just to tuck them looking at the front. Whatever works for you. This is fun. So we need to make sure it's fun through the whole process here. All right. Only a couple more. Just pulling my chenilles through. Okay, let's see what I've missed. Okay, we have 1 and 2 right here. All right. All right. So there we go. You still see a little bit of the brown chenilles, but that's okay. It's going to blend in. You can primp a little bit before you put on your Home Sweet Home. So there's that. I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to get my hot glue going. Bear with me here. All right, it is getting ready. Take a second. I always lay my glue gun on this piece of mold. It's not a mold, but it's like silicone, and so it doesn't get on my table. It won't ruin that silicone mat. All right, so we're going to look at this again, see how it looks. Make sure where we want to put our Home Sweet Home. Okay, so here we go. I think the Home Sweet Home right there will look really nice. Okay, so I'm going to lay it down. Make sure it's lined up. Well, my hot glue is heating up. All right, so let's get some glue sticks. Might need a couple of glue sticks for this. Okay, it's almost there. My glue gun takes a while. So, okay, so here we go. I'm just looking at it, make sure it looks so nice. It does. Okay, make sure that's where I want my Home Sweet Home. Looks about right. So I'm gonna turn my Home Sweet Home over to the back, and I'm gonna put hot glue around the letters. Try to not make it fall in between, because then you'll see it on the other side. Okay, here comes my glue. So, bear with me here. Okay, this glue gun is taking a little bit. Ava, shh. My dog's barking. My baby's asleep. I'm trying to get my dog not to bark. Alright, so we're going to just keep gluing. Try to do this as fast as you can so it doesn't dry. Need another glue stick. Well, maybe not. Try to get all around you can so it holds real well. When you get to the end here, go back and try to put some more where you started. Okay, so we're going to place it at an angle. I like mine looking at an angle. And you just hold it down as long as you can. That you think it's gonna hold or finish drying. And you can always do around the letters. If you can tuck it in between the letters, the glue's gonna dry clear anyways. So if you want to do it around the edges, you can do that. Just try not to let it show through too badly. But you want it to stick. And you can go back later and clean up the little stringies that come out when you're gluing. I just try to get the glue in there so it holds. But it's not too noticeable. And there you have it. There you go. And you can come back and clean up all these little stringies from your hot glue. But that's it. Isn't that so nice? Oh, and one last step. You get 2 chenelles, okay? You get 2 chenelles, put them next to each other, fold them over your fingers like this, okay? And then you twist the bottom of your fingers. If I can keep them together. Then you twist, okay? That's what it's gonna hang on. So you're gonna put it right here, right where your middle is that you want it to hang. Let's see how I want it to hang here. So I'm going to hang it like this. So I'm going to twist it around the back top frame, top bar. So you just twist, twist, twist on both sides. I always do the opposite on each side, twist in so it holds better. And you can always put hot glue right there where you twisted so it holds it even more. So when it hangs, it doesn't come off. So there you go. There's your wreath. Hope y'all enjoyed this. Have a good day. Bye.